Hey everybody and welcome. Sorry we're starting a little late here, but welcome to RetroActive's Corner. I am really sorry for it being a little bit late. Unfortunately, we weren't feeling so well this morning. So yeah, in this particular case, we had to, basically do whatever, you know. But hey, we're here. We're ready to do the review of 3 movies in particular. We're going to try to breeze through one of them. Hold on. I just noticed something.
No light.
Yeah, I don't know why I completely forgot about that. I'm sorry.
We're in the dark.
Oh, yeah. Oh, trust me. We'll have to do a nighttime review just to do on a specific Saturday of the Halloween month. That'd be fun.
That would be fun.
Like Dr. Sleep and Shining, we should do in the dark.
Oh,
we do a late night one.
Yes. Have some candles.
Ooh, that sounds fun. Anyway, joining us again is, of course, you guys know these hostesses very well. This is Billy Peddle and Puginator. Good to have you guys back.
Hello.
When it comes down to it, these two selected these 3 movies: Split, Unbreakable, and Glass.
Actually, it's Unbreakable.
Then Unbreakable, then Split, then Glass. Yeah, if you want to put it in that order, because that's actually how it shows on the categories there. But
We're all today.
what happened?
Oh, I just said we're all kind of out of it today.
Yeah, we're all iffy on this one. Yeah, you can join in. Hang on for just a second. Yeah, I heard you, Taz. Stop it. I'm working right now, sweetie. I swear to God, my cat is just literally saying, "Please pay attention to me." I'm like, I wish I could, sweetie, but no. Yeah, go to them. Let me see. Here we go. Setting up Discord now. You're being very audible today, aren't you? That's my cat for you. Here we go. Direct message.
Does he know what we're doing today?
No, I don't know. Here, I'm gonna try to get him in there. Here we go. There we go.
You're completely undone.
How you doing there, man?
Oh, here it is.
Oh, what? I swear he sounds like one of the parents from Charlie Brown right now for how much his voice is muffled.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, I'm behind an air conditioner.
Ah, that makes sense. How's it going, man?
Yes. I've been enjoying the lovely California weather.
Nice. Yeah,
A lot's been happening, good, bad, in between.
So, yeah, we're going to be discussing Unbreakable first, mainly because it's
It's the first one in the series.
And not to mention, it's one that I think we should almost brush on by because of how boring it was.
I mean, it sets everything up.
Does Tassie have
It
food?
sets it up. But
Right here.
It is
Does Tassie have
definitely
food?
slow.
I'll be adding more food after the stream.
Okay, because that's probably why she's crying.
I know. I didn't want to. It's just that unfortunately. All right, so.
Hi, babe.
But yeah, we're gonna start with Unbreakable, not because it's the first in the series, but it's
No, it
also.
is.
I said not just
Okay.
because it's the start of this
I've missed
franchise.
dysfunctionality since I've been gone.
Oh yeah, dysfunctionality. Yeah,
Trust me, I've been trying to keep up with the streams, but going here, there, everywhere has been kind of hard.
True, I understand that, but
So I have been trying to keep up with you guys.
nice.
Yay!
Yeah, when it comes down to this one, but yeah, we're not doing this movie just because it's the first in the franchise. We are doing it because it's also, sad to say, the most boring of the trilogy. And after rewatching the third movie, I actually have some complaints about that movie.
The third Glass?
Yeah, Glass.
Seriously?
Ooh, I loved
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
Okay.
I can't wait to hear your guys' review. I'll gladly chime in with whatever nerdy, geeky knowledge I can pertain to it.
Awesome. We always count on that, bud. Trust
Even though
me.
I don't. Because even though these movies don't sound familiar, I'm sure they're probably connected to something else I probably know that we can bring into the discussion.
True. And of course, they also had to be directed by M. Night Shyamalan, the guy who has one of the worst track records in history. Other than, of course, the famous Ed Boon.
Wasn't M. Night Shyamalan the jackass that kind of ruined Avatar for people?
Yes.
Ruined Aang?
Ruined the entire damn franchise because of that freaking movie.
Well, but he also did The Sixth Sense, which is one of the best
Jackass?
movies
I
ever
thought
done.
it was funny.
No, that's not him.
Oh, I thought you said Jackass.
No, I said
He ruined
Avatar.
Avatar.
Avatar: The Last
He
Airbender.
ruined
Phoenix
Zuko.
Fire called him a jackass.
Zuko and
I called him a
Katara
jackass
and all that.
because
Right.
I'm saying, wasn't he the ass that kind of ruined the franchise for live action purposes?
yes, it's the reason why that people were so fearful of a live action series based on the Avatar
Yeah.
because they don't want another Avatar: The Last Airbender situation.
Right. But you have to give credit to The Sixth Sense. That was one of the most
Yes.
phenomenal films and
Yeah, but
groundbreaking when it came out.
Yeah, but here's the
I had
thing.
no idea what was really happening until the very end.
Right.
Yeah,
It was all
here's the
like,
thing
oh
though,
my
and this
God.
is coming from me who's watched a lot of M. Night Shyamalan films. His movies have gone downhill after The Sixth Sense. Like, he hit his peak. Sad to say.
Well, yeah, but Glass
Glasses and
Split was,
Split
I
was
think,
phenomenal.
I think, in my
They were
personal
amazing.
opinion, Split, in my personal opinion, is the exception.
I love
The other two movies, not so much.
Okay, well,
Oh, well.
you're high, but that's okay.
Okay,
go
that
on.
hurts.
Okay, go on.
All I
But-
know about The Sixth Sense is one of the taglines is, I see dead people.
Oh yeah, there's that one. That's a famous line.
I remember being a kid in the 90s and getting the channel for pay-per-view showing you previews, and that's all they played every 5 minutes.
True.
Back in the 90s. Like, oh, shut up. Who cares if you see dead people? Go actually go see a dead person, then you'll really see dead people.
True.
Does Teddy have water?
Yeah,
Oh,
she does.
I'm such an
She's
ass
drinking
right
right
now. Not gonna lie.
Alright, so we're going to start off with finding out what you think your total scores are going to be for Unbreakable.
Are we scoring Unbreakable?
Apparently.
Well, no, let's not score Unbreakable.
No, the only reason why because I think we're going to brush through it very quick for how boring it is, honestly.
But why even? Well, we can.
Yeah. Sorry to say, guys. For as
I'd
it is
say-
a decent movie, I would say it's not necessarily...
I'd say a 45, but
So 45 for Unbreakable. Alright.
Yeah, I'll go with that. It's very, very slow.
it's slow. But it isn't
But it
not
builds,
good.
and
Yeah,
it's-
it is still good.
It's very
just
original.
slow.
I found it was very original.
Yeah.
So it's just very slow.
Yeah.
And I think that he was trying to build like an atmosphere.
Yeah.
But the first time I watched it, I did fall asleep.
Yeah.
For me, I'm going to give it at least a 35. I didn't think it was entirely... I think it was good, just unfortunately not as good as I was hoping it was going to be.
Right.
Especially since I watched Split and Glass before Unbreakable.
Right. That's a huge letdown.
Yeah.
So that is a complete letdown in terms of what you were to expect.
She just shot that ball around the circle.
She loved
Oh yeah,
it.
she loves that thing.
More than a cat.
Alright, so we're going to start off with story, then we go on to characters, then we go to music, design, and then atmosphere. Story. We're going to start first, and this one's going to be quick for me. I honestly thought the story was boring.
Well, I would give it an 8 because I thought that the story may have been slow, but I thought that it gave kind of a backstory to what led into Split
Right.
and Glass, really.
True.
If you don't see this movie, then Glass really is like, what the hell?
Yeah,
You
I
know?
agree. You
miss-
really kind of have to have it
Right.
just to
I think the
set you up. for
Split
it.
surprisingly does well on its own regardless.
Right, but it fits in perfectly in the
Yeah.
middle because you're getting basically everybody's beginning.
Yeah, it's
you know,
almost like
and
Jedi
before they
Fallen.
become-
Yeah, it's like Jedi Fallen Order, where that one is based in the Star Wars timeline. It could be its own story
Well,
for all.
the
we know.
only reason why I gave it 45, the 5 off, was just the pure fact that it was
pace.
slow. It was
Yeah, the pace.
slower pace.
So, what would you give the score for story?
I'm gonna give it a 9. I
9?
think the story's really good. I just feel like the pace is severely
Yeah.
lacking.
I actually think I'm gonna give it a 7, but that's not necessarily a bad score. It's just that a lot of it does have to do with the pacing. The
Right.
pacing of the story could have been done much better, and this is just another one of those things that Shyamalan has been very bad in
right.
recent films. Sad to
I
say.
think he was really like aiming hard for atmosphere with this film.
This is-
just kind of
This almost reminds me of the Devil situation. You know that movie Devil
no.
about the elevator.
Oh, yeah.
That's another one.
Elevator?
That's one of his bad
An
films.
elevator like called the devil. What are we-
No, it's
A
literally
devil in the
the
elevator.
devil is in the elevator killing each person off.
He's
We'll
like
have to watch
possessing
it.
And he
the
even-
elevator.
No, he's jumping from
Person to person, killing them.
Yeah. Well,
And in
Like
the
that
end,
Denzel
and here's the thing:
Washington movie?
they try to do
kinda, but
the.
they're in it the whole
All
time.
confined
they're-
in an
Yeah.
elevator.
the whole movie.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
here's the thing: the plot twist. It was the devil. No, seriously, I'm not even joking. If you have the devil
we know
literally in
you're
your
not joking.
title, I think you already know who the villain is.
Wow.
I wish they could have done better.
You always say you're not quite good with sarcasm. You nailed that, man. You nailed it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I've been practicing.
You're excellent. That was great.
But yeah,
If you need to learn, if you need sarcasm lessons, get them from Penny from Big Bang Theory. Start binging. You might get some pointers.
good point. I could.
She taught Sheldon, so she could teach you.
True. All right. So for what it's worth, though, yeah, honestly, 7 definitely for me.
Okay.
It's mainly it's the pacing.
It takes forever really to get to the point. So.
Yeah, and not to mention, some scenes just don't need to be there.
Right.
But it does have some good moments, like his son pointing a gun at him.
Right. That was intense. That was absolutely terrifying. That wakes you up if you have been falling asleep up until that point.
Then, of course, the time where Glass accidentally falls right down the stairs and breaks every single bone in his body.
It's pretty horrible.
Which, by the way, that's an actual real-life condition, the
And
brittle
when
bone
he's-
disease.
And when he was in the Tilt-A-Whirl, which just happened, just so
No,
happens
that's
to
the
be
third
my
movie.
That's the third
oh
movie.
well, okay, but still, it happens to be my favorite ride at the fair.
Oh, same here.
Yeah.
However, that one makes me sick, and I don't think I could ride that anymore.
No,
Oh, I can.
I like the octopus. You know that one that goes like. Into
Oh, yeah,
the-
that one's
they
fun, too.
Twist and they go around and they all go up.
Yeah,
in
that's
different-
hard. That's hard. for me.
Nausea.
This is what happens when you talk about the fair, and this is what happens when COVID.
We were just watching a video last night on carnival food.
Oh, yeah, there's some really good foods.
Okay.
Let's get back to it.
Sorry.
Next, of course, is characters. Now, actually, I have to say, for as much as I do like some of the character ideas, I think a lot of the acting is bland, I guess.
Very subdued.
Very subdued.
In the first one?
In the first
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
yes. Compared to the other two, where it just goes from here is normal and then just skyrockets in the
Extraordinary.
sequel.
Are we
Yeah,
doing
totally.
characters now?
Yeah, we're doing characters. So
yeah, I give it an 8.
yeah, so all right, so you're gonna give it an 8. All right.
Yeah, because it was a tiny bit bland.
That's fair. I think the
Yeah.
little boy, the actor who's
Yeah.
Actually,
plays the son, he was extraordinary.
Yeah, he was
He
good.
had
He's
the
good.
most depth and
Yeah.
Not to mention the best emotional
range.
scenes of the film. So
Yeah,
well done on
exactly.
that
Yeah.
one.
yeah.
And not to mention, and actually he has been in a few films before. Yes, and I'm gonna let everyone know. Billy Powell told me that Puganeer thought he was the kid from The Sixth Sense, which I would not be surprised because he
did.
looks
They
very
really
close.
like him.
So similar. They have the same
Yeah.
haircut and like,
Same
face
facial structure. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's so
They even
weird.
sound kind of
They
the
do.
same.
Yeah, that was
They
almost like a
kinda act
trippy
the
scene.
same. It's
Yeah.
really.
But again,
like,
the movie did come out in 2000,
right,
so this is still right after his popular films had already come out by then.
right.
So it could be that the actors could be around the same age as well.
I'm
But-
gonna give it an 8.
8, yeah.
Yeah, I do. I have to say that the wife, she is like so oblivious and so like in her own little like.
Cocoon.
Yeah,
She's
like,
an
I have
absolute
to give
moron.
her credit for that. She's not a moron. She's just like very emotionally. I think she's pretty like damaged. You know, they don't get into her story too much, but except for that where she was explaining how she
Got
couldn't
into-
marry someone that plays football because it's the complete opposite of like what she wants to be as a healer and all that stuff. I thought that was really interesting, like character.
That's
points for her.
true.
But I find her interesting just in how completely closed off from the entire story and everything
Yeah.
going
She
on.
was like she wasn't even
She
there.
did she did that really well.
Yeah, and
I have to give
honestly,
her credit for that because it's hard to be in a room with other people and feel like you're not actually present at all.
yeah, and not to mention,
Present
yeah,
that
she
is
did
incredible.
definitely
But
seem
here's the
not
thing.
present.
Right.
well, here's the thing: the psychological intrigue about her is very interesting. Because yes, there are people out there who, unfortunately, put that type of thing as a priority above all else. But here's the thing: the way she acts about it is almost pretentious to a point where you're wondering why. The way she acts, it almost feels like she's just condescending
I don't
towards the
think so.
whole idea.
I don't think she's I think she's just so
It's a sad
And her-
situation. It just made me sad.
she makes me very sad.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I feel sad for him.
It might come off pretentious, but I don't believe that's
I feel
how she,
sad for
she
him.
means it.
I more feel
Yeah.
sad for
What
both
kind
the
of a
father and
relationship
son
is that?
because
Yeah.
those two are the ones suffering because of her.
Right, but it's not like she's doing it to
No.
them on purpose.
I know,
She's
exactly.
just really like a damaged, introverted kind of person.
Yeah.
You know?
Now, if she said
She's
that...
enjoying that
Now,
character.
here's the thing. If she said that and it was because of the crash, I would believe her. Because that could shake someone up.
Right.
But she says she was like this before.
Well, it's
So,
implied that
no.
she's got depression and...
Yeah, she
you know,
sure seemed like
Yeah,
it.
she's like, she's probably what you would classify as someone with severe depression. Like,
Yeah,
she's
that is
probably on
true.
medications. She's, like, probably being a healer is one of the few things that helps. Like,
She's
helps
probably
her.
an empath, and she has a hard time just navigating life.
Like, yeah,
Very true,
and that's
very
why
true.
she stays introverted. She made total sense to me. But I could see how someone who doesn't understand, like, that emotional kind of trauma and it would come off as condescending or indifferent.
Yeah.
I think she played that really well. She
Mhm.
really did because...
That is true.
Excuse me, Sam.
Of course, I love Samuel L. Jackson as Glass. That is,
yeah.
he does a really good job, honestly. And
did.
he's always been known for doing a very wide range of acting roles. So to see him in a more villain role, or in this case, a sub-character role before he becomes the villain
Right,
in the end,
right.
is pretty
I think someone
impressive.
needs to watch Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction, of course, yeah, you can't go wrong with that one. But
Right.
He
But
was
again-
a big badass in that. You just wanted to go slap him so hard until he started crying.
that's true. But in but that's the difference between that movie and this one, is that one's a lot more lighthearted on a lot of its stuff than
Right.
this one is. This one, it stays with a dark theme.
It does,
So
yeah.
having characters like these with these type of mental issues and problems makes sense. So
And you can tell, like, when Samuel L. Jackson's character, when he goes after that guy, remember that scene
Yeah.
right before he falls? You can tell that that's sort of the catalyst, because he was trying to do good. He was trying to catch this guy that he knew had a gun.
actually,
and
no,
confront him.
that's not what I saw. I saw him having his curiosity sated. He wanted to prove that he knew what the guy was holding. Everything. He wanted to prove that he was right about him.
Right.
He was a superhero. He's
But
obsessed.
you can see, though, after that that's like the catalyst, that fall, of turning him dark. You know what I mean? Like, there's no coming back from after that. Like,
True.
seriously, you can tell
But-
that he is in the villain role now.
Now that
after that fall.
but now that I've watched all three films, I can honestly say that I almost feel like that it was more him satiating his curiosity and wondering if he actually did succeed in creating a superhero. So in
That's
this
true.
case, makes
That's
sense.
totally valid.
So honestly, I am gonna give it an 8. Now that you guys have helped me with some of those characters,
Yeah.
which I originally thought were condescending, but now I am starting to see from their perspective it was depression, all that. I can
Right.
definitely see that being a thing.
No, and you know what? You're really right about Samuel. See, I didn't see that. Like, that he was just trying to prove that that Bruce's character was right in his vision. I didn't think about that. I just thought he was trying to do some sort of good, you know? But now that you've said it like that, I'm like, oh, that totally fucking makes sense, because that was his whole plan all along, was to make a superhero.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Thank you.
No worries. Now we're going to go on to music. And actually, strange enough, this is where, even though it has a great main theme, it almost feels like it has a bit of a Halo situation along with a Mass Effect feel.
Right.
But, man, there is almost no music. But that also could work to its
I think
advantage.
it's to build the tense atmosphere.
It's a very tense
It's
atmosphere.
very tense. I mean, the pace is really slow, but the atmosphere is definitely, it's
Angsty.
hardcore. Yeah, it's hardcore.
Yeah,
It's-
that's
it's
actually a
there.
really good word. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
angsty in a way.
Yeah.
Basically, like angsty teenagers, like goth kids or something.
Watch yourself.
Oh,
sir.
come on, you have to admit, the trope of the goth kids always being so depressed and dark and all that, I feel like that almost got personified in this movie.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
There's definitely a vibe
Very
there.
angsty.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but yeah, honestly, for music, I gotta give it at least maybe a 7. That's as most as I'm ever gonna give it, because even though there is a lack of music, I wouldn't necessarily say it's a bad thing.
Right. I think that the lack of music intensifies the story itself.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah,
gonna give it
like
an 8.
with the scene with the kid pointing a gun at his father.
Right.
There's no
It's
music,
dead
but you
silent in there.
feel the amount of emotion that's going
Right.
through all three of them.
It's
So,
terrifying.
so yeah, I could definitely see, because if I heard music in that whole thing, I feel like it would have just been completely.
Downplayed.
It
It
would've-
would have downplayed the intensity of
Yeah,
it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm
I
gonna say
would-
a 9
9? Alright, so
Mine
you're
to a
saying
9.
You gonna change yours to a
I
9?
appreciate
because there's
the
a
lack of
reason
music.
why.
There's no music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only reason why I gave it a 7 is mainly because that some of the other tracks, other than of course the main theme, are average at best.
Right.
The main
They're
theme
just
is
not
just
very noticeable.
absolutely amazing, though. I'll
Yeah.
never understand how good that one is. It's fantastic. Now we're going to go on to the design of the film. And the design of the film actually works very well with the atmosphere. It's very dark. And when they do show colors, it's not the bright and colorful feeling you see in some other films. Especially if you're going to classify these as superhero films, then yeah, in a way, yes.
There's a hella comic book vibe throughout the whole
Yeah.
style.
I'm gonna give it a 9.
You're going to give it a 9?
Yeah, because I thought it was good, and you're right. It has a very comic book sort of
Framing, like
framing. Yeah.
I'm going to give it an 8 in this case. I got to agree with that. It was very much a comic book. It almost feels like Dark Horse comics.
It's very moody.
Which-
very moody.
Yeah, Dark Horse comics have been known for going more in the darker route, like when it comes to their storytelling and visuals. So I think they did a really good job on trying to make that type of feel into reality. But yeah, what would be your score then for design?
I think a 9.
You gonna go a 9 too?
Yeah.
All right. And now we're gonna go straight on to the final category, atmosphere. Okay, this one's gotta go from full on 10 for me because
Yeah,
the
me too.
atmosphere is actually no. I'm gonna give it a 9, mainly because the one thing that ultimately does ruin the atmosphere in a way is the
pace.
pacing.
Oh, that's true. I'll give it a 9 too.
But
You're
yeah,
right.
I would have given it a perfect freaking
Yeah,
10
me
if
too.
it wasn't for the pacing.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if they did it right, that'd be a full on 10 for
I mean,
me.
if you cut 40 minutes off the film, it would have been perfect.
Yeah, but here's the thing: it would have been at least an hour of film.
Right.
I think if they were to cut down a few of the scenes, which only maybe a few minutes at most, I think those scenes could have been cut out. It would have been around 90 minutes, which is still an hour and a half,
That's his
but it'd
chair.
still be worth it.
Oh.
Yeah, that was me.
I thought it was a mouse or something.
Nope, that was my
Because
chair.
She was even
Momentary
looking.
panic stricken. I was like,
Yeah.
it's okay. It's the chair. Sorry.
Yeah, don't
Go
worry,
ahead.
it's a chair. But yeah, honestly, what do you think of the atmosphere? This one,
Me?
No, her. You already gave your
Yeah,
score.
that's what I was gonna say.
I'm gonna give it a 9 for sure. The pacing, I understand what he was trying to do. He
Yeah.
was trying to slowly build you up to that huge reveal. That, I mean, if you're not paying attention and you see the last scene between Bruce and his son, if you're not watching that, like, you miss the whole unspoken
of it.
fucking dialogue
Yeah.
right there. That's like a huge. See, I fell asleep the first time I watched this movie with my mom, and I woke up when she turned and yelled at me, "Oh my God, can you believe that?" And I was like, "No, I can't," because I don't know what happened. You
Actually,
know?
the crazy thing is though with
She didn't rewind it for you?
Oh no, she made me watch it again, the whole thing.
Oh.
Yeah, she was
That's what you
Um,
get for falling asleep.
right.
Oh
yeah.
yeah. When it comes down to it, I also like, and this is going off topic, but I do love the title of each film representing each and every person as the main character.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course, Bruce Willis's character as, of course, the main hero in Unbreakable. Then, of course, we follow the character Split, which is
Split.
technically the villain known as the
Glass.
Horde. And, of course, we have Glass, who, in a way, even though did start everything off, he eventually would have his own story.
Yeah,
in
the
the end.
names for
Right.
each of them are
It's
perfect.
you know, we didn't even notice that until after you see the whole series.
Yeah,
and you're like,
yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah, that's
because
perfect names.
Glass really, like, he has a really predominant part in the third film, but you
Mhm.
don't figure out just how big his part is until the very end. And then
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, whoa.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm now tallying up the scores for this one.
Well, you do a little bit like during the scenes where he, like the tilt-a-whirl
Mhm.
scene and,
Yeah.
you know, that kind of stuff.
Oh, that was so sickening.
Mhm.
So heartbreaking. I fucking love Samuel L. Jackson.
I do too.
He's awesome.
I
He's an
love
amazing
him.
actor.
All right,
One of my all-time favorites.
I'm surprised Bruce Willis never really got recognized as much as he should, because to be honest with you, he's been in quite a few really good movies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
amazing.
Oh no, he is
Love him.
recognized. It's just that this is not one of the films that I would say
No,
is
but
his.
he's
all-time-
never won a major award, has he?
I have no idea.
I think
I
yes, he
don't-
has. I think.
I don't think so.
I should hope
Here,
so.
I'll double check
In
just
fact,
to make sure.
I'm almost positive because I remember thinking, that's terrible because he's got like Die Hards
Yeah.
and all that.
Fifth Element.
And I liked 6 Days and 7 Nights.
Oh, yeah. No,
Or
that's not
7
him.
Nights and Six. Oh,
That's
no, you're
Harrison
right. That's
Ford.
Harrison Ford. But I mean, he's been in
Jesus.
a lot of.
Also
I
a
love,
handsome man.
and see,
Yeah.
he's another one that
Yeah.
isn't really recognized as
I
much
know.
as he should
Oh,
be.
no, I think he got something for Witness. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
I'm looking at. I'm looking at it right now. Give me a second.
Baby.
Awards and honors. Let me see. Well, of course, he's on the Walk of Fame. Of course. He had his hands on the Grauman's Chinese Theater. He's gotten a Golden Apple Award for honored with the Sour Apple. There's also the Maxim magazine ranked.
Yeah, but I don't think
Lord.
he's had any major.
Maxim said what?
Yeah, trust me, you don't want to know what it was.
I don't,
He also has the Golden Camera Award for Best International Actor.
yeah, but he hasn't gotten anything like
Like an Oscar.
an Oscar or
That's
anything.
what you're
And he's actually really good.
He has excellent range.
So
True.
that's kind of sad.
It is sad.
But yeah,
Where
he's won a
Samuel L.
variety of
Jackson,
awards.
I'm sure he has.
I'm not surprised, honestly.
I would.
if it
I
was-
wouldn't think. I would think because he's got phenomenal.
He does. He has excellent range.
Yes.
But yeah, honestly, yeah, he's done a lot of amazing movies, such as, of course, I'm looking at a list right here. One of them's Die Hard, being possibly, and yes, I know some people say it's not a Christmas movie. I call it a Christmas movie.
I think
One
it's
of
what every
Paul's and
desire
mine,
to
one
be.
of Master Chief's and my favorite one is
Live Free or Die Hard. But
no,
bam.
it's the one with Samuel L. Jackson. He's I gotta look. Continue on because I gotta look. I'm gonna find it.
No worries.
Shaft.
I don't know if Master Chief remembers. It's a Kevin Spacey in it.
Shoot.
It's
I'm trying to
where
remember.
they had to talk him down from. It's like not an interrogation. Spacey. Hold on, I will find it.
No idea what you're talking about. I love Samuel L. Jackson in
think he's-
The Long Kiss Goodnight. That is one of my all-time favorite films. He's awesome in that. He's a
Mhm.
smarty pants. He does action. I love that film.
To give credit, Samuel's good in Star Wars because the Star Wars prequels, it's the first 3 movies. You actually don't hear him say fuck. He
That's
actually
true.
has to show some self-control.
The Negotiator. He
Oh.
was. Have you ever seen that?
Yes,
I've seen that
that's
one.
That is like one of
movie
his
is
best
so-
movies ever.
Yeah.
that
Paul and I
movie is
really
so intense.
Master Chief and I keep saying Paul. Master Chief and I really like that a lot. He was in Outbreak. Oh, he's in so many movies. Look at all of them. Recount, Austin Powers.
If the series is to
Wise
continue,
Guy,
what would you
the
add?
The Ref was great.
We'll answer that question after we're done reviewing the remaining films.
Oh, that's right.
All right, you guys ready?
What a dork.
All right, you guys ready?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Sorry.
From
Captain.
Billy Peddle, your original score is 45. It only dropped 1 point. It's 44 now.
Okay.
And for hers only dropped 2 points from 45. It's 43.
Yeah.
Mine went up 4 points from 35 to 39. And again, it's understandable. I think I did kind of lowball it, but at the same time, a lot of it was due to you guys helping me out with some of the characters. That unfortunately, because it would have been a much lower score for me.
Right.
If it wasn't for those
It just
facts.
doesn't keep your attention if you're,
Sad to say, and that's the reason why the
pace
pacing.
is just.
That's the reason why I gave such a low score in the story, because even though the story is great, the pacing is just absolutely horrible.
He was great in Incredibles too.
Yeah, he was Frozone. I remember.
Star Wars. He's in so many movies.
Yeah, he's one of the most famous actors of all
Oh,
time.
Moan, I saw that.
You guys ready for the next one?
Yes.
All right. What would you guys rate the
Split
Split movie?
Oh,
Honestly, your
10.
score.
50.
I mean 50.
Yeah, 50.
Yes.
All
I
right.
was gonna say, wow.
That's
She
harsh.
misunderstood the question.
I'm
Obviously.
like, good
Because
lord.
out of all
Clearly.
3 of
That's
the
your
movies,
favorite
that's my
one, I
favorite.
know.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've always been intrigued by multiple personalities, but also
You were
that
always
guy,
interested in serial killers.
That too, but also that
Should have looked at
guy
documentary I watched before I left to come here instead.
seamlessly changes
James
character. He is
McAvoy.
phenomenal actor.
I gotta give this at least a 45. I'm not gonna give it a full on 50 yet.
Oh,
What?
I don't know. My opinion may change. It really does depend. I think it's gonna be a 50, but I'm
Yeah, it's gonna
lowballing
be
it
a
just in
50.
case.
All right.
yeah.
All right. First of all, let's start with story off, and
Yep.
it gets right into it right at the start. You
10.
you basically start off seeing the three girls along with I think her was it her
Well,
father
first
or
it was
uncle?
the
No,
it was the five girls,
the
the
girl-
4 girls, the cheerleaders.
It's so.
I thought there were 3.
There is 3. There's 4
Oh, I
girls.
thought-
10
There's
girls.
the adult male
There's
that was
3
with them. I
girls.
don't know who he was though.
That's the dad of one of the girls. He
All right.
refused to leave Anya at the school or wherever the hell they were,
Mhm.
because he didn't want her to. He just didn't leave her.
Right.
So that's the only reason she's with them. They don't particularly. They're not friends. The girls with Anya,
Right,
like
right.
you know, they didn't want to take her, but she ends up being the only one that.
She ends up
survives
being
out
the
of all of them.
badass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yep.
love her.
And,
I love her.
I know.
in this
She's a
movie.
very good
God.
actress,
Yes,
too.
she is.
We're not talking about characters though.
Sorry.
Okay.
But
so-
yeah, basically, as
Right.
soon as that happens, you notice the guy. I think he's dead, basically, and of course
Dad,
he
yeah.
gets inside the car and immediately kidnaps them.
It
That's
gets,
so
Gets
shocking.
straight to the point.
Right.
yeah, he.
But it is sort of slow. The pace in that it's not slow like it annoys you. It builds.
Oh
perfect.
yeah.
Honestly,
Perfect.
I
Because
think
they're sort of like just at a normal pace. Everything's going along, and she looks and like, holy crap,
For
that
me,
is not the dad.
Here's
you
the
know?
thing. I think the
Right.
pacing works here
It's
because
perfect.
it's out of. Here's the thing. It's completely all over the place,
Right.
but in a good way. It's symbolizing his mental state,
Right.
Yeah.
such that it can go from one personality to the next.
Right.
One is one is more, I guess, the female accomplice. One is, of course, the child. One is, of course, the absolute monster. One is his normal personality, and the other one, and there's a few others
Do you
that.
remember how many they said he had?
9.
He ended up he had
There's a
like
lot.
27.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
were a
27
lot.
personalities,
Crazy.
and we only saw 9
Right.
in total
Main
throughout the
ones,
franchise.
The main ones.
Mainly with Split and with Glass.
No, in Glass there was a whole bunch that showed
Yeah.
up, especially
Yeah,
when they
not
kept flashing.
but not a full on 27. Just like maybe 9 in total that they showed.
No, I think it was way more than that.
No,
I'd have to go
I only
back.
saw 9 so far of all the personalities.
I could totally watch that again and again. That movie
Oh, yeah, it
was
was
fabulous.
amazing.
But yeah, honestly though, the story in a way, because like I said before, the pace was different, but at the same time, it's a good type of pace. It symbolizes the main
You can
character's
tell
mental
that
state.
You can tell that.
You can tell the story's all
M.
about
Night,
him.
You can tell that M. Night has perfected his pacing by this film. Because the first film obviously was atrocious, but this one, there's like a nonchalance during the kidnapping. But it's not slow, it's just a sort of nonchalance.
It's like a perfect build-up.
It is.
Really.
You can tell that he really and then with the scene, like you said, with James McAvoy or Mr. Tumnus, because I can't say his last name, his pacing, like how he seamlessly goes from
Oh
character to
yeah,
character,
it's
like
amazing.
yeah, like you can see clearly how much better at film, I don't know, or how much time, more effort M. Night put into it, but it's like such a step up.
He actually is probably one of the most seamless actors
Mhm.
I've ever seen in that type of role,
Right.
doing
Yeah.
doing personalities, multiple personalities.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that
No,
before.
that was phenomenal.
Oh
yeah,
my
so,
God.
And not to mention, the whole story is actually, and yes, if you are wondering, yes, there are a few times that the main characters try to escape. I think 2 of them die. It's been, I have seen most of the film, just some parts I've forgotten. Mainly, I don't know if any of them survived. I know that the main girl
the
did.
main
Anya
girl
is the
does.
only girl.
Alright, so
Lives.
the other
no,
two
wait.
did.
One of the girls lives, right?
No, yeah, I think it was only the one girl. Because he's the
think
one who let her go.
That's right, she died. The other one gets killed right at the end.
So yeah, both of them
Yeah.
are,
It's
the other
just
2
Anya.
girls are dead. And it's strange enough, the main character, which is the psychopath, lets her go.
Right.
The one
beast.
person he ever let go.
Right.
Which is, again, very shocking. You don't normally see that. Especially with this one. But you also see that, according to the story of the trilogy, she actually thanks him for what he did because of
Well,
it.
she becomes fond of a couple of his personalities.
Yeah.
Yes.
But if you pay attention to it, like they're very similar. Like she
Yes.
had serious abuse and trauma in her
Yeah.
From her
childhood.
uncle, yes.
Right.
And in this
their,
case,
their origins sort of unfold while you're in this situation with the two
yeah,
of
you
them,
get to
Yeah.
see
you know?
his backstory and what he had become.
She
Right,
has
as
empathy.
well as
She has
hers.
empathy for some
Right.
of the characters.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, for some of the personalities that he
Right.
The
has.
story is brilliant.
It
And
is.
eventually,
Fucking epic.
yeah, so I'm going to give it a 10, honestly.
Oh,
The-
yeah,
Yeah,
the
10.
way-
I would give it an
the
11
pacing-
if I could.
Right?
Damn.
The pacing was
It's
pacing
perfect.
Yes.
was perfect in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
The story was done incredibly well.
Yeah.
Everything about the story was done almost to match the character perfectly, and they did a fantastic job doing
It's actually
it.
one of my favorite movies.
It's really actually quite shocking the first time you see it because
Yeah.
you're like, what the hell is
Yeah.
up with this guy?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So, what would you guys
because
give it?
he's so seamless.
It is.
Yeah, he's a 10 for sure. It's
10?
a 10 for the story.
We love you, Mr. Tumnus.
Yes. I mean,
All
that
right,
other,
so-
the one that the Beast
Yes, all right.
story, but
So, yeah, we're gonna go straight into characters, and you already know what they're gonna talk about.
10.
Absolute 10.
Yeah.
Although I have to give absolute credit to Anya
Yes.
Taylor-Joy because
Yep.
she's phenomenal. She
Yeah.
holds with him in presence, in my opinion.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's
yes.
a little more subtle because
movie wasn't-
obviously she's not, got multiple personality disorder, but she is so intense.
She's
and
integral
so
in the
focused.
whole.
Absolutely.
in the
Like the
whole
two of
movie.
them
Trust
are
me.
such
Yeah.
on
The
such
story.
a same like linear it's crazy.
Yeah, trust me
And
on this.
she can relate.
She
Yeah.
understands him.
Yeah.
Trust me with this one. The characters themselves are done incredibly well.
Yeah,
yes,
10,
even
10,
some of the
10.
side characters that
Oh,
do
the
get killed.
psychiatrist, she was amazing.
Mhm.
She was really good.
Yeah, for what it's worth, though, when it comes to those two movies, you can definitely say a lot about these characters and do a very good job. Especially when you're dealing with, of course, what's his name again?
James
We'll call him
Mr. Tumnus.
Mr. Tumnus.
I guess we'll call him Mr. Tumnus. Sorry,
Sorry.
dude. I'm sorry,
I
dude.
can't say his last
If
name.
you're watching this, I'm sorry for not pronouncing your name right. I just didn't want to make it wrong.
James. His name is James.
Yeah, James. But basically, the dude has amazing acting range.
Oh yeah,
that
he's
God.
got talent up there.
it is very rare to see.
Yeah.
So, honestly, I can see him going very much
Yes.
into the legendary status, like with Robin Williams and all that.
Mm-hmm.
They do. He's gonna be among the pantheon by the time
Well,
he reaches old age.
I mean, I can't off the top of my head name another actor who can play not only so many freaking characters in one movie, but can be the absolute most horrifying villain, as well as one of the most endearing,
Yes.
broken,
Yes.
heartbreaking
I would say-
characters as well.
I would say Jim Carrey could do it very well.
He can do it
Not
well,
as
but-
good as him.
Not as good as
though.
him, but you could definitely tell he's done something like that before.
Right.
Not to mention Samuel L. Jackson has done stuff like that before, so yes, he could do
Samuel
very
does
well.
pull that off really well too, and especially
Yeah.
the last film because he is so heartbreaking, but also you're like, wow, you
Yeah,
are
so
fucking awful.
so yeah, honestly, it can be done, but if I'm gonna say the one who pulls off multiple personality disorder in the best way, it's him. He does a really good job of
James.
making him very realistic in a way.
It's
Because
seamless, just like Puginator said. It's like boom, boom, boom.
He
boom.
amazes me.
No
He-
pause, no
he
hesitation.
amazes
You don't
me.
even get distracted
Absolutely.
like, oh, now he's
No.
gonna play this character. It's just like it's all the one person.
McAvoy.
It's insane.
yeah, McAvoy,
Yeah.
thank you.
He's amazing. I can't even.
So basically, a 10
Express.
all around.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
not.
yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Would you I have the guts to make a speech like that and let it go? Fortunately, my looks, I'll never have to.
I wonder if he's watching something.
Pardon me?
Turn your
Yeah,
volume down.
I was wondering. What were you watching?
Family Matters. I'm embracing all the American channels I don't get back in Canada, and I've been binge watching a lot of Steve Urkel.
Okay, yeah, I could definitely see that. Trust me, I have a couple of friends that love Steve Urkel, so
You remember Laura?
good lord. Also, for those of you guys who don't know, that is the voice of Sonic the Hedgehog in the old Sonic the Hedgehog cartoons. Yeah, hard to believe.
So yeah, I mean, you name it. I've watched everything. Family Matters, Married with Children. I tried to get my friend into Jersey Shore. He was disgusted and nearly walked out.
Okay.
He looks so different there.
Trust me, it's been crazy here
But
the past 2 weeks.
Yeah,
His
after
hair.
the stream, we'll give you a few suggestions of other shows you should check out. But yeah, now we're gonna go
I got
on
2
to.
more weeks. They're making good.
Oh yeah, trust me. Let's go on with music next. Music itself, I think, is one of the
The lack of really stands out.
Yeah, I'm not entirely saying it's bad, but they could have done a little bit better on some of the music. Like they could have, like some tracks, you could easily put some musical parts in some of those scenes and it would work.
Right. Well, I'm sorry, but Hedwig dancing to, is that Kanye?
No. That's
That
not what I'm
that
talking
was-
about. I'm mainly talking about, yes, with that particular scene, that one was mainly used to terrify or
Right.
whatever
it's
it was trying to
the
do.
sequel part's terrifying because you're like, what is wrong with this man? But also fucking kind of hilarious.
I actually could not take that scene seriously. I'm sorry.
I loved
Because it's a
it.
little boy. He's trying to.
I
charm
know,
her with
but
his
at the
moves.
same time, I feel like that maybe went a little too far with over the top.
No, I loved
I
everything.
thought it was perfect.
Yes, me too.
Because it's like what a little boy would do if he's like
Yes.
trying to be like so cool.
Yes, totally. Absolutely.
You know? I don't know, although I don't know how I wouldn't be able to film that scene. I would be laughing.
No,
my
I'd be
ass off.
laughing my ass off if I
Kudos
saw
to
that.
both of the actors in that scene.
Can't believe that they actually took that scene seriously. I have to admit that takes some serious balls.
Well, it's supposed to show you like the vulnerability, the immaturity, the childlike
Yes.
nature of Hedwig,
That is
who
true.
is my favorite
That is true.
Yes.
personality, if I may.
Mine was Hedwig and
Patricia?
the one that was fond of her.
Oh, Barry or Kevin?
Kevin, I think.
Kevin is the true
The-
identity.
yes.
The true identity,
Yeah.
yes.
That's
I
the
do
one
love
where
Kevin.
yes.
I
yeah.
have love for Kevin. Yes.
For what it's worth, though, music.
Sorry.
I give it a 10 because still, same goes. The lack thereof.
It's so predominant.
Yes.
That is
it
true.
stands out so hard.
Yeah.
Absolute
Alright,
10.
I changed mine to 10.
Thank
I was
you.
gonna give it a 9.
Yeah, well.
Now we're gonna go on to design of the film. I actually do like that they really kept it pretty secluded,
Oh, yeah.
very
Yeah.
claustrophobic.
You're like, where the hell are they?
Not to mention some of the camera work in the movie was just amazing at that point.
Yeah, I give it a 10.
Solid
yeah.
10.
Pretty much
Solid
it's gonna
10.
be a solid 10 all the way
Oh,
out
yeah.
because that
All
is
of our
one
amps
of my
would go to
favorites.
11 if we could.
Yeah.
If only I allowed that.
I know.
Look at she's enjoying that
Tyrant.
Yeah, she's.
Oh my
enjoying it.
god, it's all over her.
I know.
Baby.
That's because I put it all over
She
her
just,
tree.
like, laid all...
Please tell me she's not gonna be completely
Ha, 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 ha.
stone faced.
She'll be fine.
She'll
I
be
hope
drooling
so.
on you
She's
and
very
loving you
happy
later.
right now,
Don't
that's for
worry about
sure.
it.
True, but I don't want her completely going
Baby.
ballistic like she usually does.
Oh,
Because I feel
wow.
like if she did have oh no. Sorry guys, my cat is high on catnip apparently. Hey, sweetie.
Oh, yeah.
So what's the next
Final
Verdict,
category for this movie is, of course, atmosphere. And
11.
10?
yeah, gotta give it a 10.
Solid.
This is just one of those films. It keeps the atmosphere, but does it in a way it gives you a false sense of security, and then it hits you
You
hard.
and I are
terrifying.
50-50.
Boom.
Yeah,
That's
honestly,
right.
it's
Hells to the yeah. I can't believe I just said that. Excuse me.
don't worry.
I'm deeply enthused by this film.
But yeah, honestly, for what it's worth, yeah. So basically, you guys know, straight 50 all around.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna go on to Glass, where I am gonna be a little bit more critical.
I know.
All right, so what do you guys give the score for Glass?
I'm gonna say like a 49.
49.
Only because with the story, I got a little bit at the beginning. I wasn't quite sure where we were going and what the point was, but once you get to the end, it's like your brain explodes.
Yeah, I would have to say I'll probably do a 49 too. I was going to say 48, but
40 for me.
49 because you know,
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It really kind of wrapped up the whole thing.
Beautiful little package.
Yeah, but at the same time,
my God.
it could have been done much better.
Oh, I don't
Sad
think
to
so.
say. I gotta say, it could have been done much better.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, well, whatever.
Alright, we're gonna start off. I'm gonna prove it
kidding.
to you, alright?
Okay.
Alright.
Alright, first of
Oh,
all,
look
let's
how
start
you
off.
turned that.
And actually, one of my main big gripes is the story itself.
It takes a little while to get to the actual point.
Actually,
But-
that's not my problem.
What's your problem?
The problem
What's
is
your problem, man?
the problem of the movie some of the problems in the movie, in my personal opinion, especially with the story. One of them is the ending.
I thought the ending was amazing. It
The
was
ending
fucking
was
incredible.
bull.
It was incredible.
Here's the thing. I'm not entirely talking about like the actual ending part. I'm talking about the entire ending sequence. First of
Are you
all,
talking about the fight?
the fight was great. They did a very good job of
Okay,
making
what
it.
exactly? Tell us what exactly you're...
Well,
We're getting offended now, sir.
here's the thing.
We're kidding.
M. Night Shyamalan has done plot twists very well. But this one, I think, was completely unnecessary.
Why?
I'm baffled.
First of all, there's one plot twist that I think was amazing. It gave almost more sympathy towards the Horde than it ever did with anyone else. And that was the fact that his father was not only on the same train as the guy that he was fighting against, strange enough, but he was actually looking for a cure for his son's multiple personality disorder.
Well, I think he had it himself, didn't he, the dad?
He had split personality
both
disorder.
have it?
So he was trying to help himself and his son.
Okay.
And unfortunately, he couldn't help him because he died on that train.
Right.
So,
That's not
and
like
here's
an
the thing.
ugly twist. That's just a
It's just that,
tragic...
no, that's not the one I have a problem with. That was the perfect plot twist. I'm like, that's great. It gives sympathy to the villain, but it also shows just how far Glass will go. Because
Right.
he's the cause of all this.
Right, but that was the point, because it's their origin
The
story.
the plot twist, but it's mainly the death of our main hero.
Yeah, but
That was bullshit.
Yeah, but he's not saying it's their origin, like the origin of Glass, and I mean it is, but he's looking at the bigger, grander picture. Glass was saying this is the origin of superheroes and villains in general, in the whole fucking universe.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the death of Bruce Willis's character. It never needed to happen.
No, but that's the point is that Glass was trying to make was that
No,
it doesn't matter
no,
if
that's
they die
not
right
what
now.
I'm talking about. Here's the thing. I agree. That message, and here's the thing. That could have been done all perfectly if they didn't kill off his character at all. Not Glass, of course. Well, villains have to be dead eventually.
Right.
But I'm talking about Bruce Willis's character, not Samuel L. Jackson, not McEvoy, whatever,
Kevin.
not Kevin.
McAvoy.
Those two, their deaths are understandable. It's perfect. But why kill off the one person that actually was not only willing to protect, but was willing to surrender himself to the cops when all this was done?
I think the point was that...
And not to mention,
there are goods and bads of all situations, whether it's a bad villain or a good villain.
Yeah, but here's the thing. And here's the psychiatrist here. She already knows superheroes exist, but she is trying to cover it up. Here's another... And this is actually one plot twist I'm actually very glad they kept. That all... Jesus Christ's sake,
Wow,
cat,
she
calm
is
down.
calm.
Thanks for giving her catnap. But yeah, I
You're
love this
welcome.
particular plot twist. That everything she tried to do was completely pointless.
It would have been nice
Because
if
guess
Bruce
what?
Willis stayed alive.
He
I would've
posted
been-
those videos of the superhuman strength and everything across the world. Now everyone knows superheroes exist and supervillains. Their mission to keep that all a secret now just got completely wasted.
Failed.
Yeah, but
It was
that's,
pretty much pointless.
Yeah, but that was that's what makes the ending so fucking shocking. Is we didn't want Bruce. I didn't want
No.
Kevin to die either. I didn't want Glass to die
I
either.
think-
I
Yeah,
was endeared
me
to these
neither.
characters. But
Yeah,
that
but here's the
drives
thing, though.
Point home, though.
You build him as a superhero. You build him as a guy who was even willing to surrender himself to the police if it meant... But first he had to defeat, of course, the Horde. When you kill him off, then that means you basically say the villains win. No matter what. No matter if it was the
But
psychiatrist,
but you're
if
missing
it was
the
her
point,
organization, or if it was Glass, or if it was the Horde, the villain wins anyway.
Well, Not
Not
technically.
really.
The psychiatrist, that wasn't her point, was to pick sides. Her point was to keep all of it quiet, to not have a hero, a superhero with superhero strength, or a villain. That was her point. That was the whole point of their organization, is to keep them clamped down.
Right.
Like, she doesn't want, she even sort of says to Bruce, like, I'm sorry I have to do this to you. You know, but if you had just, taken on the insanity cap and run with it, we all could have just lived our lives, you know, alive. But in custody.
Yeah, but here's the thing. He was fine with that. It was only when Glass and the Horde managed to escape that he did everything he could to stop them.
Right.
And he even stated that he was going to surrender himself when that happened and was going to plea the insanity card. What she did was uncalled for.
But that's the point of her organization. They don't want superheroes, they don't want supervillains.
Yeah, but if the hero is willing to cooperate, then why end his life anyway?
Because
it feels like you're literally a...
Because he knew that he was a superhero. She could not convince him that he was insane. So he would always be a threat to their organization.
Yeah, but if you notice that in the... I don't know. I just don't think that the ending could have been a little bit...
It was horrible. It was
It could have been written...
It was sad.
It could have been written a little bit better.
That was
my personal
really
opinion.
gut-wrenching, seeing the son crying over
oh,
him
yeah,
and
that
freaking
was,
out.
That
That
was
was fucking
devastating.
awful.
Here's the thing. I honestly think they could have written it a little bit better. And if they did, it could have been interesting if they just tried something else entirely. But I don't think that ending was one of its best.
I thought it was a shock, fucking shocking as hell, and I was
I
hella impressed.
Yes, I don't think it necessarily. I mean, it was sad and everything, but I think that's the
they should
reason
have
why
changed
that's
the
the
order
point.
of it.
Okay, but I think the point that Glass was trying to make was when he says to his mom, it's an origin story. He's not talking about himself or Bruce's character or the Horde. He's literally, their characters, as much as we're endeared to them, they don't actually matter in the grand scheme. What he was trying to say was the origin for all of this. For the organization that's trying to keep us down, the fact that we exist, for future superheroes and supervillains, this is the origin of our creation, of our existence. It's not us personally, is how I took it.
Yeah.
I almost feel like you guys are digging way too deep into this.
No, that's what it meant. That's what he was saying, that it's not our origin on a personal level. It's the whole
it's the big picture
world. It's all the other
how
people
it all
that haven't come into their powers yet.
It affects every aspect of the world and life and everything.
I did not get that at all.
Okay, well, you gotta rewatch it again. We'll do it in an hour.
No, I'm not. Here's the thing. I'm not rewatching this movie again.
Well, then
I
you're
like the
missing
movie.
point.
Don't get me wrong. Everything about the movie is good. I just feel like they could have done the ending a little bit differently.
I would have liked all the characters to live.
Here's the thing.
I wanted.
If you're gonna finish off Bruce Lee,
Anya Taylor-Joy's
if you're gonna finish off
Casey
Bruce
to be
Willis,
Kevin.
you do it before he realizes the truth.
No, because it's so much more tragic that he knows.
Yeah. That's the whole point of it.
That's the point that Glass was trying to make, was even though we're all, we have come into it and we're all
also,
aware of it
I
now,
kind of
you
think
can't
that a
really
lot of
stop
those...
us
Yeah, here's the
because-
thing. I also think that some of those characters, I think, should have saw this coming. For as big as her organization is, you think she would have had a backup plan in case of the whole news spread would have worked.
Obviously it doesn't happen too frequently. You know what I mean?
Because they try to keep it
clearly
under
you can
wraps.
see. I mean, and honestly, she is more of a villain than any of them because she killed good people too.
Yeah,
you know. But I think that I totally lost my train of thought. Crashed right into the wall. Never mind.
Here's the thing. I never got that type of message from the ending like you guys have.
Well,
I didn't see it that way. I saw it as almost a total cop-out.
No.
To way to end the movie trilogy right there and then.
No, because you see Casey, the Anya Taylor-Joy's character, you see Mr. Glass's mom, and you see Bruce's son,
like I said,
watching everybody come into this enlightenment. The message is out. You can't stop it. You could make another movie, no problem. That sets you up to keep going, for sure.
Yeah.
Just not with these three characters.
Right.
Yeah, but I also think that if that was the case, then that would
may
ruin
have been
any...
why they ended it that way.
Right, to set it up.
Was to set it up
keep going
for future heroes and villains.
Yeah,
and so
but at
on.
the same time, you're not going to get the amount of character development or anything else like those 3 movies did.
That's not true. You don't know that.
Here's the thing. There's a reason why cinematic universes like freaking Marvel have done so well. Not only do they manage to give each character their own spotlight, but when they do come together, you give them time to develop, even with other sequels that show how much they've built over time. Not just the heroes, but the villains. This is a trilogy that almost completely cuts that whole thing all together.
Yeah, but that's part of the
Sure,
shock
it may have
of the
given
ending.
people an opportunity to build off of it and make more sequels, which honestly, if they did make another one, I think that'd be pretty cool. But I also think at the same time that, what's the point?
Well, the impact. It's fucking
Yeah,
shocking that
it
all 3
was.
characters get killed
Yeah.
like that. That was not.
I mean, it certainly
I was expecting a
isn't- it
huge ass
certainly
fight
isn't
at the
what it
tower or
usually
whatever.
you see.
Yeah, that's exactly
I mean,
it.
it's completely
It was
opposite
totally,
of what you
it's
usually
totally
see.
unique. You have to.
Yeah.
Puginator has a huge point right there. It's
Yeah,
totally
that was
unique.
the whole point of it.
It was a total shock.
Yes.
Completely, like, you just killed all these characters that
Yeah.
we have spent 3 freaking films
Yeah.
investing our emotions in.
Yeah.
That floored me. I
Yeah.
thought he did an incredible job. I feel like he has redeemed himself in
Yes.
the eyes of
I think
some
that
of his
was the
crappy
whole
movies.
purpose of that ending.
So I
No,
will
there's
give the
no
next film
there's
another
no
chance.
redemption for his crappy movies. I'm gonna straight up say it. But
I mean
For
that
what-
I will give the
for what
next
it's-
film that comes along more of a chance because of these films.
yeah, I actually
not
am,
seen
if
them.
I'm gonna be honest, if anything, out of all 3 movies, Split was the movie that honestly gave me a little bit more faith in M. Night Shyamalan.
Right.
Glass
You have to
almost
do that.
kind of ruined that.
Okay, well, whatever.
Almost.
You're tripping.
It's still good, but I'm not entirely saying it's gonna be one of his best. It's not gonna
Everybody's
be one
got
I'll
their
remember.
own opinion.
right. We're gonna agree to disagree. 'cause
Yeah.
I
Alright,
thought it was
so
fucking epic.
what would you
Yeah,
guys
I
give
did
the
too.
story itself?
10.
10.
It took you on such a
Yes.
random fucking goose chase.
Yeah.
Like when you actually get to the ending, you're like, holy,
Holy
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
I'm gonna give it a 9.
Oh, you just like to disagree. You have to admit,
You're lucky.
I
You're
am
lucky.
a little bit right there.
No, you're not, because I have agreed with you everything on freaking Unbreakable and Split. I don't know why you think I'm disagreeing you with just that one part. I just saw it differently, and trust me. Here's the thing: if you guys want to voice your own opinions, leave it in the chat in the comments below. Because honestly, I would like to hear you guys' opinions on what you guys think the ending was, especially to you guys, because you never know. Other people have different interpretations.
Right.
I just interpret it as something that just didn't need to happen. And of course, some character deaths I'm fine with, others I'm not. Some story plot threads I agree with, some I don't.
Right.
Other than that, though,
You know what it sounds like?
I just think it just wouldn't work.
Well, you make it
Okay,
sound.
next one.
What's up?
It's funny. You make it sound like you make it sound like the movie Clue. The way you say that.
Okay, what's the
I
next
guess
I-
category?
Next one is, of course, characters. Now, again, this one's where I'm going to give it a 10. Easy.
10.
Because not only are you getting all the stuff from the previous movies, but you're making sure they get even more development throughout the rest of it. And I think that is done fantastically in this case. Especially almost getting a conclusion to all their arcs.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, again, that's the one thing I'm fine with. The character arcs did conclude, and
Right.
it was done in the best way. Like Kevin finally embracing the light for a change.
Right. That was
Finally
oh,
embracing
God,
his
that was
light
gut
at the
wrenching.
end. I love it.
Yeah.
Glass finally getting recognition for all the work he's ever done to pull this off.
Right.
And to finally show the world that the superheroes and villains do exist. The world of superheroes can exist in reality. And of course, Bruce's character did have a great ending for his arc too. He finally got to be the hero that he, in a way, his son always saw him.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
So in a way, he finally got to help bring his son's dream to life.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to give Casey credit too. I feel like she
And Casey's arc finally came to a close,
Right.
finally helping Kevin
well,
embrace the
and
light
forgiving
and
him,
finally
too.
yes, and
Forgiving
forgiving
the
him.
personalities that harmed her.
That was
you know?
such a
I
good...
could've-
Exactly.
I felt like I was really sad about Kevin
Yes.
dying because I thought like, oh, you know, maybe like years down the line
Yes.
they could maybe be
Hook
like,
up.
yeah,
Yes.
because they
Because
understood
they-
each other
yes.
and they were
No.
connected.
Yes.
you know?
Characters
I think
like
that's
him were
probably
destined
the
to die,
reason-
sad to
that's
say.
probably the reason why his death
was so
It was
gut
so-
wrenching.
yeah.
Her reaction to
Yes,
it, the fact
because
that
it was
she
just-
lost something too
She
when
did.
he died.
She did. Totally.
And then Bruce's son just made me cry. I took everything
Yeah.
I had, like, not to
Yeah.
burst
Honestly-
into tears on the couch next to you, Puginator.
Like I said, their character arcs were done perfectly in
Yeah.
the best way. Like I said before in the story category, it's not because of the character arcs. They were almost downright perfect.
Right.
It was just mainly some of the plot threads I think they could have
I
worked
understand
on.
your point. I do.
But
see
yeah,
that.
character arcs gotta give a full on 10.
And-
I even love the psychiatrist. She does
Sarah
an amazing
Paulson.
Yeah.
Sarah Paulson does an
we love
amazing
her.
job.
We love her as an actress so much, but
Yeah.
I fucking hated her in this
Yeah,
movie.
She
yeah,
did a
yeah.
And
great job playing a
She
villain.
did
Credit.
good. Yeah. But
However-
She's so subtle and so calm and so
However-
polite, and she's the most evil person.
Yeah,
However,
in
at the same
entire
time,
film.
you also see that she is sympathetic to Bruce.
She is, yeah.
She does feel bad for killing him, even revealing the truth to him by letting him touch her on the hand
Right.
to see what she has seen.
You can feel that she is sorry that she has.
She
to
doesn't
do that,
want
but
to
it's
kill
not-
the superhero.
But it's not.
But
gonna
she knows
change
it's the only
her
way to get-
course of action.
No.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
Her
She
end
doesn't
game.
want.
Her end
Yeah.
game. Yeah.
She doesn't want to kill the superhero, but she knows that if
He
he does,
can't exist.
exactly.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, after realizing that all her work was for naught,
just
now her
pointless. She
organization's
just
pretty much out in the open now.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Her
she just
organization's
killed
out in the
people
open,
she didn't
which
need to
means-
kill. I hope she feels really bad.
Oh, trust
Damn.
me, I would not be surprised if there was a sequel. She would be trying to make up for what she did.
Right. I think the ending scene with the three characters, because I felt like, wow, if they're ending it right here with everybody dead on the ground, this is so fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing the redemption not redemption, that's not the right word, but seeing the
Revelation.
the revelation. Thank you. That's the word. Seeing the revelation with those three characters sitting together, Casey, the mom, and what the hell is Bruce's son's name? I don't know.
Oh,
The
So
kid,
adorable.
the son. Yes.
But
that was like the one sort of brief shining happy-ish ending.
it's
Yeah.
it's more like they all had a common. They all had
Thread.
some
Yeah.
commonality.
Yeah.
All their characters were connected in some
Yeah.
way.
And
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
that they are going to spend probably their lives connected,
Mhm.
which makes me feel better.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
because
Honestly, if anything, I would not be surprised
character-wise.
if there was a sequel. We could see them actually getting those three actually becoming heroes in their own right, trying to stop that organization
Right.
from covering everything up.
It sets
Letting
it
the
up
message
that it can
spread.
Continue. It's just really heartbreaking that we lost three exceptional characters.
Yeah.
In the end of this film.
Exactly. So, I gave my score a 10.
Yeah, 10.
Yes. Clearly.
All right, so basically 10. All right.
I'm getting a tattoo of it. Damn. You know what I
Next,
mean?
of course, is music. And honestly, the music is actually done very well here.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when it comes down to the scene where, of course, we definitely have the conversation between Glass and the Horde, and you really do start to hear the subtle music being more of almost ominous.
Mm-hmm. It's very tense.
Wondering, yeah, exactly, the tenseness in that one. I love the music that's used during the action scenes, done incredibly well, and all of it was just done incredibly well here. This is actually one of those films I'm willing to say I can confidently give a 10 on,
Yeah,
because they do it incredibly well here.
they do.
What about you guys? What do you guys think of the music?
I would say a 9 because I don't think I remembered
There's
the
a
music.
serious lack of music.
Yeah, I think that's the only reason why is that it's not like super, but all in all you can tell that if there is music, it played so well within the story
That you don't notice it.
don't even notice it
Right.
because it's that good.
Yeah.
You
Sure.
know, so that's kind of how I feel. That's the only reason why I would say a 9.
What about you?
I'm gonna give it a 10.
10?
I thought it worked out really well.
Alright. Next, we're going into design of the film. And I gotta be honest, the design really went above and beyond here. They did a
Yeah.
fantastic job with...
Yeah, I'd say
That facility
10.
is terrifying.
yeah.
Even without, what is that, like kryptonite
Right.
sort of stuff going
Hey,
on.
if you want to see a
It's
place like
super
that, take a look at
creepy.
the Medical Lake Hospital over here.
No, thank you.
But yeah, honestly, though, the sets were done very well. The
Yeah.
use of the lighting, the camera work, it was very interesting. It's like, especially since one scene is when the psychiatrist and the Horde, how they're having a conversation. you see that when the camera was on him, when it starts out, it's always moving around, following him. He's switching from personalities when they spin the camera around. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, when it's mainly her trying to talk to him, the camera is still completely focused
like
on the
her.
task at hand. Mm-hmm. So you could definitely say that the camera work almost personalizes each and every person in the movie.
Yeah.
I feel like that scene with the tilt-a-whirl that you like so much, well, not like so much, but really got you.
Yeah.
It has like warm sort of tones,
Mm-hmm.
I
and
feel
then
like
it's like it all comes crashing in on
right.
you
It's very
suddenly.
stark and cold.
Yeah.
Back in the facility, I think it's got a definite comic book vibe to it too.
Totally.
I think they.
In
I
fact,
don't know how
more
you
so
can
in
perfect
that,
but
yeah,
you did it really well.
More so in Glass than in either of the other two.
Yeah, exactly.
Really.
Yeah.
This one really.
He definitely has perfected it in this
Yeah.
film.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, strange enough, someone in the chat of YouTube said that it would have been, for Bruce Willis's ending, for his character, it would have been funny I'm sorry, not funny. It would have been better if he was, of course, he surrendered, and then quietly was executed off screen to almost silently take him out. That way, no one knows.
See, I don't like that.
No,
it would have been more
I think
mysterious.
it would have been mysterious, but I think it was shocking as
yes,
hell.
I think
they drowned him in a puddle.
Yeah,
True.
That was fucked up.
And because his fear always was
Drowning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
For what it's worth, though, yeah. So design overall, though,
10.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the little fortress, sort of, that the son has to help his dad.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing that they worked out together, I thought that was really...
Yeah,
The fact that Casey is working at the fucking zoo, that's insane. Anybody else would be like, really, seriously, you're going back to where you were tormented, horrifically? But you can see, how she just wants to be near to where Kevin was,
Yeah.
To be connected to him.
Yes.
You can tell, they did a great job.
Yeah, they did.
And that's very warm tones with Casey too. I thought they did that great.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
It was
now
really great
it's
design.
atmosphere. Atmosphere itself. And here's what I'm going to talk about: all three movies. Each and every one of them is definitely different from the other. One is a psychological horror, which is of course Split. One is very much a drama movie, which is of course the first one, Unbreakable. And then we have Glass, which is more of an action film.
That's actually a little bit of both.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a little bit of both, I think.
The third one is sort of all three encapsulated into one vibe.
Yes.
But it definitely has more action, like you said.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. For what it's worth, though, this is one of those instances where you definitely get to see a little bit more that this is definitely more of an action film.
Right.
You could definitely see
But
there's
it's
a lot
very
more
tense. It's very
tense action. Yes.
It's very stark, and there's a cold vibe to it, especially when they're in the facility. You can sort of almost hear the buzzing of the fucking iridescent lights, or fluorescent. Excuse me.
True. But yeah, overall, honestly, it's pretty interesting how they managed to pull that off. And each movie does feel almost like something that could definitely... Where I actually have to say that with Unbreakable and Glass, those movies you cannot do on their own, or otherwise it's going to be a confusing mess.
Right.
Where Split, honestly, if you just go with that movie itself, you could have made that its own film.
Oh yeah, it totally
And it
stands
would've
out.
been
I didn't actually know that it was a part of the trilogy until I saw the third movie, and I was like, holy crap, it all comes together perfectly.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to say the least. But yeah, overall though, for atmosphere, overall it was pretty good.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's very tense. You sort of are on the edge of your seat the whole time you're watching it. I thought that was really impressive.
Mm-hmm. But so yeah, what about you, Puginator?
Like a ninja.
What about you, Puginator? What about your thoughts on the atmosphere of the movie?
I thought it was fabulous. I think the whole thing was pretty seamless
It's very tense.
and then very intense, and especially the latter half
Oh yeah.
of the movie.
Do you think that, we were discussing that each movie was like drama, psychological horror, and the third movie we think is more action.
Yes, it is more action, but it's got a little hint of the other two too.
Right. It's like
It's like a hint, and then the action is the
Right.
primary
drive.
yeah.
Film,
Yeah. So overall, what did you guys think of giving the score?
10. I still think it's 10.
Solid 10.
Yeah.
All right, solid 10 all
'Cause
around.
Split and Glass were my two favorite. Split being my ultimate
Right.
favorite.
All right,
yeah.
so
Because I have a fondness for multiple personalities.
We
All
don't
right,
know
And
why.
he's so seamless. He blows me away.
He does.
well, my score just went from 40 to 49. So again,
Wow.
like I said though, I did think I was lowballing it, but I honestly, the reason why I did lowball is because at first, when I first watched it, I did think it was pretty good. But then, of course, after watching it again, I'm like, okay,
Not
something
angry.
happened.
You
Yes,
don't
my
like the
view
ending.
completely changed on the film, so... But when it comes down to, you matched your score, Puginator, and her score went up by 1.
Oh, so I gave it a solid 50?
Yep. Alright, now we're going to go on to, of course, Retro Evolution, which we do all the time on the channel, where we talk about what we would change in each film and why. Since Split was pretty much a perfect score of 50 for all of us, we're not going to do that film.
Okay.
But since you gave it a 50, you're not allowed to talk about Glass,
Okay.
which means it's me and her that has to do this one.
Alright.
And then, of course, with Unbreakable, that's all three of us easy, because, well, let's just face it, that movie is slow.
Yeah.
First, let's start off with Glass and get that out of the way. Honestly, what do you think that could have been changed in the film? Like, if you were given the director's chair, what would you change it?
You know, I don't know that there's anything I would change because I thought, I know how, I mean, certainly what you said about the ending and everything, you know, you got to take that into consideration, but I still think that he did a good job on the ending.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that was the whole point of it, the whole purpose.
Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm. Honestly,
I don't know that there's anything you could change that would make me happier.
Personally, I think, honestly, if you want to really... Because here's the thing. I do like the sympathy of the psychiatrist, but if you're going to try to make her a villain, in this case almost like a secret villain, what you do is that you kill him off screen without his own son knowing it. Let the tragedy build, that he'll never know that his father's dead.
Oh, I would never do that.
That would absolutely not only make his emotional scene even better, but it would absolutely show just how pointless it all was for the entire trio.
It seemed pretty pointless in the... Seemed pretty
No,
tragic.
here's the thing. It succeeded. Glass got what he wanted. But if they covered it up and had him dying almost off screen in a way, and without his son knowing, it would have absolutely been a lot worse off. I think it would have been a lot more of a bleak ending, and what I felt like it was trying to do.
Yeah, but then...
Again, that's just how I would see
But
it.
then, why would the 3 survivor family members basically come together in the end?
Oh
and
no,
share
the other.
that with the world?
I'm not even finished yet. In the right after, of course, where the scene where you saw all that footage. Instead of that, you see them at home. They're just talking, and then you see the group, that organization with the 3-leaf clover, breaking in, killing them all.
Why? Isn't
That-
that way more pointless?
Mm-mm.
Then
It
the whole,
basic-
then the story...
It shows how desperate this organization is to keeping their secret.
Yeah, but
If they really
the world
are
wouldn't
so
know.
desperate, as she said, to keep the secret, why not go all the way with it?
Yeah, but then the world wouldn't know.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that was the
They
whole
get what they
point.
want.
Yeah, but that's the whole point. The glass... That's the really... It's not redemption, but
I
it's
know.
like the only way to like...
I don't
It
know.
makes-
That's just an ending I would like to put in, just to twist things up. It would be completely different from
It
what
would, yes.
the theme of the original film. And not to mention, it would also shatter Glass's dream of making superheroes and supervillains a reality.
Yeah, but then they're all dying needlessly. You know what I mean? Not that they weren't dying needlessly to begin with in this ending.
Pretty
but
much
it's
that's
like,
the idea, though.
Oh, okay. That's horrible.
Or at least that's how I would have done a specific ending.
That's way more
Almost
depressing.
like I would
That
have been.
doesn't make me
That's
happy.
way more depressing.
Of course, it's not supposed to make you happy. It's supposed to be damn well depressing. It's
Well, that's
supposed to.
but see,
That's appalling.
yeah.
Of
because
course it is.
I mean, it was kind of super sad.
I know I
at the
I know I
end.
sound like a-
It's worse.
I know I sound like a total asshole here, people,
No,
but
no.
I would make it more like almost like one of those alternative endings they put in the DVD set.
Well, I mean, you win.
It'd be pretty interesting.
Because I thought the ending of the film was pretty brutal, but that's way
Yeah.
you win.
Oh yeah,
It's way worse.
oh yeah, pretty much. If I'm gonna
That's
go
icky.
if I'm gonna go with the whole meaningless angle, I'm gonna make sure that it is meaningless.
counts, huh?
It's
Okay.
going to count.
That's like an angry letter. I would write an angry letter if I watched that.
That's so funny.
As you guys
That's
all know, and
depressing.
if you guys know, I have
Staring
a.
at the ball, going,
Yes, she is.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, when it comes down to, you guys know how much I absolutely hate when people change the ending for no damn reason.
Right.
Like with I Am Legend, as you guys have
Yes,
all heard
yes,
me
we know.
talk about so many damn times. Because I've read the book, it is amazing. You do not change the damn book, you sons of bitches. And of course, with The Mist, I know some people don't like the ending. Strange enough, Stephen King actually grew into it over time.
Vomit.
I don't. It's not
But,
that I
yeah.
like or dislike the ending. I think the ending was tragic and it left you feeling empty.
Icky.
But it still was a good movie.
It
in
has
general.
impact.
It
Yeah.
does
To your
have
point.
impact.
It
yeah.
does.
To your point.
But again, like I said, that's just how I would have done it. If you're going to go the more meaningless route, you would have done exactly that. If you're going to go, and here's another ending. If I would have gone a more hopeful route, I would have had Bruce Willis break out of that freaking grip, because
That's what I
you
was
know he
hoping
could have
for.
done.
That's what I was hoping
Because
for,
technically,
too.
he could. He breaks out of the grip, he starts getting out of there, and tells everyone else to run.
Yeah.
And that way, and of course, in the end credits with the news spreading out and everything, he lets people know the truth.
Well, so what you're saying basically is that the way the film really ends is sort of in the middle of a happy and a bleak, pointless ending.
Exactly. I
It's
think
in the
that
middle.
I think it was a little in the middle, and I honestly think that might have been the worst call. I think that if they wanted to go one or the other, that should have been the choice, not just trying to mix them in together.
Okay, well, I thought it was amazing.
So did I.
I don't know. I just don't think that it was the best way to end the film trilogy. It was a decent ending, but I think they could have done so much better. They could have gone one direction or the other. And honestly, if it was one direction or the other, it still could have left it out for sequels and still be a perfect movie in my eyes.
Okay.
Now we're going to Unbreakable, and Jesus H. Christmas, this movie.
I don't even think we should
Fix
do it on that.
fix the damn pacing of this
Yes.
movie.
That's really
Oh
the
my
only
God!
thing- That's really the only thing you can say about that movie is just fix
God.
the pace.
God bless it. Shyamalan, what is wrong with you? Look, dude, you made some amazing movies, and I'm gonna admit, Splitting Glass are good, but come on, dude. You could have done so much better.
That's the only thing I changed though.
Right.
What? I'm sorry. I was so disappointed with Unbreakable. It was absolutely worse than I could have ever
But
imagined.
it is necessary in the trilogy to set up
It
to
is.
understand Bruce's
Yeah.
character.
It
I think
is, but-
you know what though, you have to sort of look at it. I'm trying to look at the pace.
It was almost
and
like it was
lack
trying
of
to copy
dialogue.
off Death Wish.
No, it's trying to show you that Bruce is a very humble character. He's very quiet. He's very sort of introverted. He's very calm. He's a good guy, you know. I mean, but taking that really humble character and turning him into a superhero that's like, boom, I'm out there. I'm in your face. I'm going to handle this situation. I think that's what M. Night Shyamalan was trying to convey, was that this is just an ordinary man, and this is his discovery along this really long, slow path.
Yeah. Again,
that he is extraordinary.
Yeah,
you know?
honestly,
I think that was the point. He just
Yeah.
kind of took too long to get to it.
Yeah, honestly, for what it's worth, I think the major fix that they need to do is the pacing. The pacing is just too damn slow. And when it gets to certain scenes, it is almost just, it's like, ugh. I just want to absolutely inject myself with some tranquilizer and just go to sleep. Because I don't want to keep opening my eyes like this and waiting for something to happen. The pacing could have been done so much better on this one. I also think that another is that, of course, I wish some of the acting was not as bleak, I guess you could say, because if they are trying to make a lot of the happier scenes happier, you think that they could have at least made that.
Well, I think it's sort of just, he's trying to convey, like, the mundane, you know?
It's
like,
a mind thing.
Yeah, so
it's a
honestly,
psychological build. Like,
So,
you're taking ordinary, mundane, mediocre, humble people, and you're slowly building up to the fact that they're extremely extraordinary. Even Glass, even his character is pretty, like, you know, not as present, you know, not as in your face as he becomes in the end. He's like a hella in your face, intense villain
At the end.
by the end. You know.
For what it's worth, though, yeah, I think again, mainly the pacing is honestly what I think could have been fixed. All right, so we do at least have a couple of questions that are gonna be on for this one. I hope you guys are ready for them. Don't worry, they're not too hard.
There's no math, is there?
No, thank God.
Just throw yourself down.
Okay, first of all, someone put in the chat that dancing scene you were talking about. He says it's not as bad as Pennywise's dance in It Part 2. I'm sorry, in the new It movies.
Oh, when he's like tiptoe dancing thing? Touche. Good point.
Yeah, it could have been far worse than that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
The tiptoey thing was creepy, but not creepy. It was
It's
more
more like
I can't unsee
why?
that. Yeah. You're right.
It's like, am I supposed to take you seriously, or are you just that much of a moron? Not necessarily like the scene where Pennywise is dancing in the It remake.
Actually, you want to know a good example of creepy dancing?
What?
Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh God!
Whoa!
Creepy dancing.
Oh God,
Dance
dude!
history.
Back up, yo.
Remember?
That was
You gotta vote
phenomenal.
for.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
bad. It's bad.
No, it's not. He was fucking incredible. That was amazing. I love that scene. That is one of my favorite scenes of all time ever in cinema. He was fucking epic. He learned. He's got like courage to be himself. He did it for his friend Pedro. The whole school was like, "Fuck yeah, Napoleon."
That's
Come
all I'm
on,
saying.
you guys are
Vote
high.
for Pedro.
You guys are crazy. I don't know what
You gotta vote for Pedro, or
Alright.
I'm gonna smack you all.
I gotta feed the dogs.
All right. One of the questions is what hero and villain going forward would be the title and the plot. Basically, what would you guys say if they did a sequel? Who would you choose? Like, which actor would you choose to play a hero and a villain? If they were to do a sequel.
I want to see Casey and Bruce's son in another film, and Glass's mom.
Yeah.
Maybe Glass's mom could be the villain, because that's unexpected. You know
She's
what I mean?
old though.
Yeah, but she had a brilliant son.
That's
you know what I
true.
mean? And he suffered so much. I could see that pushing her over the edge.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
If anything, I would definitely like to see. I would actually like to see a story like it takes place after those events, and if people see all this, you see a child who does have some superhuman powers or supernatural powers.
Or those
You see
two
him
get
get
together,
inspired.
have a child, and that child is a superhero.
I like that.
Could
Yeah.
be, yeah. Or it could be someone that, or it could be a child that those two knew, who has superhuman powers. They took him in, raised him as their own,
Yeah,
so that
sure.
way they can at least prepare him for whatever's going to happen.
Yeah.
They
Well, at the
certainly
same
would be
time-
knowledgeable.
They would.
Yeah.
They would be in
Well,
the
at the
know.
same time, that child's friend, who unfortunately doesn't get adopted by those two, and unfortunately
Ends
leads a
up being
life of
the
complete
villain.
into complete despair and hatred and
Ends up
nihilism, and
being
becomes the ultimate villain.
Yeah.
Like, in his own words, nothing matters. So why not let everyone feel what I feel?
Right.
Almost like the storyline of Kefka in Final Fantasy VI, because that character is a nihilistic piece of shit
They would have no idea.
from beginning to end. If you guys know Final Fantasy VI, and good lord.
No, we don't.
But yeah, another question is, if the series is to continue, what would you add?
What we just said.
Yeah.
I'd like
Yeah.
to see I'd like to see the other characters come back. I'd like to
Yeah.
see that horrible organization get theirs. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like I
Yeah.
want them punished.
Yeah.
That was messed up.
Yeah.
Honestly, if they were to do it, and of course, I think it'd be pretty interesting. Though, honestly, I'm still gonna stick with my original answer. It would be pretty interesting if they did that storyline.
Yeah.
That would be a great way to add into it if M. Night Shyamalan does decide to go for another sequel. But and finally, we have one last question, and this is pretty interesting. Would this movie trilogy could do very well in a TV sense?
No.
Honestly, yes.
I don't like that.
No, it could be turned into a good TV series.
I think that it
Think
would
about
take
it.
away the intensity of the film.
No, I meant if they were to continue.
No, I like
Think about it.
movies.
You could build the characters, the story, all that, and not to mention each episode would have M. Night Shyamalan's signature cliffhangers where it leaves you right off and wondering what's going to happen next. Not
Right.
to mention, if they were to do a TV series on that type of theme, like the movies did, then you could really see the progression of how now you could see the adjustment of how people are now realizing superheroes exist.
Right.
You're starting to hear their opinions, what's going on from their point of view, what's happening in their minds.
I just
As
don't
well
like
as, of
the
course,
idea of-
you could also see new heroes and villains be born out of this
Right.
event, and you get to see the possibilities of, well, comic books in a way coming to life, but also adds a little bit of realism. You'll see the absolute carnage, the chaos. You see that maybe they may be right or maybe wrong. It really does depend.
Right.
Because if you notice that in comic books, heroes and villains have a tendency of getting away with a lot. Like, you see citywide destruction, you see all this damage, and yet you also notice that the heroes don't necessarily...
Take
They-
responsibility for it.
Yeah, exactly, because look at Spider-Man. For as much as I love him as a superhero, there's a reason why he has that mask. He doesn't want to take any responsibility for the damage he causes,
There'll
not
be a
just
lot
to
of
the
fines.
not just to the people, not just to the buildings and stuff he destroys, but the people he injures.
Right.
Because think about it. You see all these villains get hurt. That's medical bills that the government now has to pay.
That's true.
And that
And
means...
the damage to the city.
Exactly! So,
City damages.
I would love... If they did a TV series on that, I would love to see it put in more realistic sense. Would the police be willing to let this happen? Or would they actually be going after them just as much as the villains?
Well, I think that is sort of the
It's the
point
same thing
that
for
the
Batman, if you think of it.
organization was trying to say.
Yeah, and I think
this
it would
is
be...
why we can't have
Yeah, and I think...
good or evil.
Yeah, and that's the reason why I would have
Superheroes.
loved to see a TV series if they did this
Okay.
go down that route. I think they'd be pretty interesting, and
I
it
love
would
TV
see.
series. I just don't like commercials, so they're distracting.
I'm more like a Netflix series.
There you go. That's better.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I
And
would see
Netflix-
that. You see about for damage to the city and all that for Spider-Man. Imagine if they would do that for Batman. Because look at all the chaos Joker's caused to Gotham City throughout the years. Imagine that, Bill.
That's true.
Holy shit.
Because you guys know
That
how
would be one big
psychotic
happy
the Joker
bill I would not
is.
want to look at.
Yeah, you guys know how psychotic the Joker is. Just imagine having a villain like him in our real world causing that much havoc, and a hero like Batman who goes through that same thing.
Right.
It would absolutely... You would just imagine how much damage that would cause, and yet
Well, I would
you
hope
can't
that
blame them
people
because you don't
would-
know who they are.
I would hope people would be more grateful to be
Understandable.
fucking alive
Yeah.
and saved and injured and have damaged
Well, trust me,
property.
the people will be fine with it. They'll be fine with surviving another day, but here's the thing. Would the government allow it? No, they're going to do whatever
Well,
it takes to
that's
kill
why I
them.
think it implied. I thought that she seemed sort of government, the psychiatrist.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know
she
what I
did.
mean? She
She
had
did.
a
You
government
could take-
vibe.
Yeah,
Actually,
she
you could. You see that retro. Actually, you could take Batman Gotham's No Man's Land storyline and apply it to what it'd be like for the real world.
That is true.
Because that was a really good story, actually.
Yeah,
Because
the
when no Man's Land hit, no one expected Gotham City to get cut off from the rest of the world, the United States, and see what it would become. No one predicted a storyline like that.
That's true. So I could see that actually being very good. Alright, so we are now finally done with questions. I want to thank you guys so much for joining here on this episode. I am very sorry we did start a little bit later than usual. We were not, some of us weren't necessarily feeling that good. We managed to start feeling better right before the stream started, so there is that. If you guys are wondering, yes, I'll be doing a makeup stream a little bit later, and it's only going to be for maybe a few hours, maybe a couple hours at most. Actually, there is one more question, and it's suggesting what shows would you recommend? Like TV shows that fall on the lines of superheroes and the realistic world.
Ooh, that's a toughie.
Well, there's a few now, not like back in the day, but there are quite a few now because of the superhero boom.
That is true. With this,
Like Titans.
yeah, there's Titans.
Got
There's
Titans.
There's Jessica. There's Jessica. That one is another good series. There's also one that was based on
Batwoman.
Power Man. Catwoman had a TV series, I think. There was
There was
actually
another one.
there was
Okay.
supposed to be a Punisher series before it got canceled.
Arrow. Arrow is good.
Arrow's good.
Arrow was
The
Arrow
Flash.
was a popular one.
Mhm.
Flash is a good
Batwoman.
series. So yeah,
I say
yeah. Because
That's-
here's the
that's
strange thing, that those series I originally thought were going to go more the comic book route. They do stick really pretty much to realism, which honestly is pretty
but
interesting.
they try to. But they use the comic books as inspiration to drive the characters for the storyline
Yeah,
as close as possible. Anyway,
very true. And honestly, I would recommend those series personally. So,
because again, I recommend Batwoman because look at it. Originally, it started with the comic book character Kate Kane, Bruce's cousin, and then they deviated and brought a whole new character to take over the character of Batwoman that wasn't in the comics, and they found a way to make it their own.
that's true.
And that's something that you don't see very often.
Very true.
What's been going on in comics and TV shows based on comics lately?
That's true. Alright, anyway, guys, I hope I get to see you all tonight. We're going to do a Metro 2033. We are going to be doing that one. We're not going to do it as long. So, mainly because we do have to set up for tomorrow's stream as well. And, of course, what's going to happen after. Also, to announce the winner of the voting, it is Jason Voorhees, which means, yes, folks, I will be shaving my head to make this character look as realistic as possible. Don't worry, my head's not misshapen, thank God, but he is bald in most of his iterations, so I am going to make sure to at least try going for that as well. So,
Are you
plus,
gonna have the golden mask and machete too?
we're still looking for a fake machete as well as, of course, the mask. I think overall
What?
I think a lot of the clothes I actually happen to have, I think could work, like
Well,
the
you're
jeans.
going to be seated anyway, so it's not like anybody's going to see that much of your
Well, if you
clothes.
want
I
a
think the
suggestion,
I think the shirt though
Here
at
in
least should be
California-
something.
I'll turn it retro. I can turn it now. If you want to
They
see
will
some
see my
mask and
upper
fake
body.
machete-
Tear
most
that
likely.
one up.
Well, I don't know if it's you got one
Wow.
near you, but do you have a hot?
That's
Do you have a hot
harsh.
topic near you, retro?
I don't think so.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, we do? Oh, okay.
Hot topic? We have a hot topic.
Because I'll tell you now, here in California, we were there just the other day there, and they got a whole bunch of Halloween crap, and they got something of a replica of Jason's mask. It's not too expensive, and they got a fake machete, and you can probably get one. Those things there reasonably in price.
Okay. All right, we'll have to check that place out then.
Or if you want to really be cheap and be a really cheap bugger, just go to a dollar store, get a Halloween mask, and get some paint and make your own.
That's true. But honestly, I think we're gonna try to go for the more authentic version.
Or you can go to Walmart. They got some usually good Halloween supplies to make.
Actually, I was just
for
at Walmart
Jason or
recently.
whatnot.
I couldn't find any. They were sold out like mad.
Really? I was just there the other day there. I've seen quite a bit.
All right,
I
everyone.
guess it depends on your location.
True. Anyway, guys, I hope I get to see you all tonight when we play Metro 2033. And yes, if you're gonna wonder, yes, I'm gonna call it day 15 because technically I was supposed to do it yesterday. Until then, you guys have any final words?
Nope. Everybody take it easy, and we'll see you next time.
It's good to catch up with you guys since we haven't talked in a while.
Yeah.
True. Oh, also, we're gonna be reviewing The Shining as well as Doctor Sleep next Saturday. So until then, I hope you all have an amazing day. I will see you all next time. This is Mr. RetroActive
How are you,
signing out.
though?
Have a great day, everyone.
One thing to say.